So I just realized I was talking for like 10 minutes and hadn't hit the record button. Hey, what's up guys? You're watching Fast Filmmaking. I'm Denver Bailey, and if you're into tips and tricks on how to get the most out of your camera gear and want to learn how to be a better filmmaker, hit the subscribe button. Today, we're taking a look at the Sound Devices MixPre-3 Mark II. To be clear, this will be more of a first impressions video as opposed to an in-depth review. If you're looking for a more in-depth review, I suggest checking out Curtis Judd's video. Also, while this is the Sound Devices MixPre-3 Mark II, most of the things I'm going to go over would apply to the Mark I as well. The main difference for me between the Mark II and the Mark I was the ability to capture 32-bit audio. Now, if you're unfamiliar with 32-bit audio, essentially what this means is it gives us greater bandwidth to adjust things later in post. So, for example, if someone was speaking too quiet on set and there wasn't time to adjust the gain, you're able to bring that up in post without degrading the fidelity of the audio. In addition to that, if someone's too loud or someone screams and it causes the audio to peak, you're able to bring that down and all the information, all that data is still there and the audio still sounds so crispy. And that is essentially the reason why I chose the Mark II over the Mark I. For me, it was worth the extra expense to have that feature. Now I want to go over some of the other things that I love about this recorder and some of the things that honestly make it kind of difficult to work with. So one of the biggest differences between a sound recorder like this and something like a Zoom H4n is you have these dials here to control either your gain or your faders when mixing audio. And it just makes it such a better experience to have something tactile to grab onto and easily adjust that audio. It's just a much better user experience. In addition to that, you have a gain control knob on the side. This allows you to adjust your headphone gain as well as use it to navigate the menu. Now, this is a touchscreen control. To my surprise, as small as the touchscreen controller is, it's actually very intuitive and works very well. The menus are snappy, so you can snap in and out of here really easily. And it's just super easy to navigate. So one of the other things that I really love about this mixer is its compact size. Essentially, what Sound Devices have done here is they took one of their larger mixers, shrunk it down to a compact size, and most of all, they've made it user-friendly. So essentially, anyone can plug this in and mix. One of the features I really like about this is the ability to switch between basic and advanced mode. So if you want to hand the recorder off to an assistant while doing some interviews, they'll be able to control it fairly easily. If you're able to adjust a knob, you can control this thing. Now that being said, when you're in basic mode, you do lose some of the features. You're not able to access the 32-bit audio that I was talking about. So if that's something you want to take advantage of, you want to make sure you switch over to the advanced mode. So one of the quirks is when you switch into advanced mode, these knobs on the front here actually become fader controls as opposed to gain controls. So if you want to adjust your gain, you have to click, and that takes you into the menu for this particular channel, and then you can adjust the gain up here. And you can do that with the gain control knob here, or you can do that by tapping. One of the things that I hate the most about this recorder is the battery life. It runs off of 4 AA batteries. Initially, I didn't think this would be a problem. My previous sound recorders ran off of AA batteries and the batteries lasted forever. It may have something to do with the preamps and the amount of power that's going through here. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not an engineer, but what I do know is the battery life only lasts about 15 to 20 minutes. So the other day when we took this out on its first production, about every half hour we're having to stop down and change batteries. And we went through an entire box of batteries in a single day. Now, Sound Devices has thought about this. They do make an NP battery sled that you can clamp onto the back, and that actually allows you to hot swap batteries. So if that's something you're into, you can do that. For me, I'm planning to mount this onto the back of my camera and run it off V-mount batteries. But if you're looking to run this independently of your camera rig, you're going to want to look into a different solution opposed to the AA batteries because it's just not going to be practical. I did mention that I love the compact size of the recorder, but with that comes some other quirks that I don't like. So essentially, if you want to change the SD card, you have to remove the battery plate. This requires you to turn the recorder off. In addition, behind the battery plate, you'll actually find a hex key tool that allows you to pop up a little 1/4-20 mounting pin here to mount things on top of the camera. I use this to mount a transmitter up here and then use that transmitter to send the wireless feed to my camera. It made syncing audio so much easier. So that's it for this video, guys. These are my first impressions of the sound recorder. I'm sure after a couple months of use, I'll be more likely to do an in-depth review as I learn the recorder more and more. If you guys are interested in picking up the Sound Devices MixPre-3 Mark II, check the link in the description. That's it for this one, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.